here, and we've already done the Hunter and Titan video. They're both right here as well. Definitely check those out because I do think a lot of those sets came out really clean. Specifically Hunters, like all of them are pretty like really good actually. It's just the last one, it was more my limitation. Titans, like the first, second, and fourth are amazing. Third one's okay in my opinion. Warlocks, I don't remember much of yours, so this is gonna be fun to go through because the first one we're looking at, I'm already like kind of liking. So yeah, before we look at the sets, if you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe. It really does help because a huge portion of people are actually not subscribed. So if you can do me a favor, like, comment, sub, hit the bell notification because that also does help quite a bit. Other than that, let's get into it. So to start off, here is the Warlocks. For this one, we're going to be starting with the Doki Doki Destiny Warlock helmet. And yeah, this one came out pretty decent. For the chest piece, Pruna Luster robes with the Opulent Strix boots, and then the Elect of the Empty Bond for the bond, obviously. For the exotic, it's going to be the Nothing Manacles. Shader-wise, Virtual Chronology, one of my favorite shaders for purple. So this one actually came out really decent. I really like this one. Definitely can be utilized for like a Christmas event type of thing because it gives off that vibe in my opinion. Thanks to the Pruna Luster and the Opulent Strix, both of those are Christmas event armor sets, so that is why. And I really like this one. I think it's the purple. The purple goes really well. To be fair though, for those people who are very strict on colors, the Nothing Manacles and every other purple that you see is not a one-to-one. The glow on the eyes, the chest piece, the bond, actually the bond is a different color as well, and the boots, they're more of a pink purple, and the Nothing Manacles is much more of a blue purple, and the bond is much more of a more saturated color of the other glows, specifically the helmet and the chest. So the colors are not one-to-one, mind you. Like some people are definitely going to be like they're not the same color, which is valid. They are not the same color. At that point you would have to go to each of the shaders to see which one is a blue purple that matches the Nothing Manacles. I just didn't really want to think too much on that because there's a lot of colors in this game, specifically a lot of shaders. So there is some shaders I could have used. Specifically, there is a shader from, it's an old one that basically gives you all purple. I forget what it's called. It does have a blue purple, but at the same time it turns everything into purple, which is why I didn't want to use it. So there are shaders that you could use that have a blue purple. You just have to find them. But overall, I think this one's super cool. You definitely would have to switch out the Elect of the Empty Bond if you want to use the Nothing Manacles though, because they're not the same. But that's also pretty simple. You just use another bond for that. As for the next set, we're going to be using the Doki Doki Destiny Warlock Strides, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I fucking hate these boots, but I really like everything else. So for the helmet and the arms, we're going to be using the Scaldic Chant hood and the Scaldic Chant gloves. For the actual exotic itself, we're going to be using Wings of Sacred Dawn, and then for the, oh shit, I didn't even notice I was using 3 pieces of the Scaldic Chant stuff. Ooh, that's not good. So that's completely fine actually, because you could just switch out the Scaldic Chant bond for literally anything else. So that's not a big deal. If it was like the arms, the helmet that I would have to switch out, then it kind of is a big deal because the arms and the helmet, I feel like, bring the set together as a whole because the chest piece has a lot of wings, the arms have those wings, the helmet has those wings. So honestly, if you wanted, you could just switch out the bond for something that either has wings or it blends in with that red for the arms. Either way, that's not the biggest deal in the world. I know people are gonna be like, you just do 3 pieces. Just ignore the third one, ignore the bond, literally put anything else in there. I will say the boots do not go with this set. That being said, I do like the fact that like everything's armored up and the boots is just kind of like nothing. That being said, again, I would definitely switch out the boots for something else, specifically like not the Scaldic Chant stuff, but the other one. We got another knight armor set at that same time, which is the Galahorn inspired one, I think it was called. I would definitely switch out the Galahorn one in there, or the Witcher boots. I think those would be really good as well. So this one's super cool. Shader is Regal Darren, love the shader. Yeah, overall, just switch out the boots and the bond, you're golden. That'd be super cool. As for the next set, we're going to be using the Doki Doki Destiny robes and bond. For the actual exotic itself, we're going to be using the Controverse hold with the Tyrian gloves. Helmet is going to be Opulent Strix hood, and then the boots is going to be the Scaldic Chant boots. So I think this set's pretty cool. Shader wise, we're using Royal Protector, one of my favorite shaders. That being said, the shadering for specifically the glow for Royal Protector is kind of annoying. You guys will notice it from the bond and a little bit from the actual helmet. The helmet does take glows, but it's very nitpicky. I would honestly just switch out the Royal Protector for something that has a little bit of a more deeper purple, or switch out the Royal Protector for Doki Destiny Warlock Bond and just have like a really dark purple there, because I want to match it with the Tyrian gloves purple. That being said, not the biggest deal in the world, because I do think the Tyrian gloves with the Skaldic chant is a good choice, because the chest piece doesn't have a lot of plate, if any, plate armor. So yeah, having the plate armor be on the arms and the boots, I think is a good choice. And I definitely think this set looks really, really cool. If the Skaldic chant had like a stone purple, the same as the arms, I think this set would be amazing, but I still think it's good nonetheless. I would honestly, if you really wanted to, you could switch out the helmet. My only thing is the helmet looks really cool because the shoulder pads, for me, it looks almost like feathers, which is why I use the Opulent Strix hood, because that has feathers. So yeah, this one's pretty cool. I would just switch out the bond's color for something that has a much more deeper purple, or like a pink purple, so that way it matches the stone on the Tyrian gloves. And then last but not least, you guys saw this one in the Totem Breaker's hood video. This one is super, super cool. So for the helmet, or for the arms, Doki Destiny Warlock gloves is what we're using specifically, because it goes really, really well with the Rime Coat Revenant. For the boots, Cursed Arcana boots, and then for the bond, Shadow Broker bond. Shaders is going to be First Frost for everything but the bond. The bond is getting Omnicronia, because I didn't like the blue color that First Frost gave the Shadow Broker bond, so I just decided to take that out. And this one, I'm not going to talk too much about this because we did already review this one, but this one specifically is using First Frost because Totem Breaker's hood had a really good blue, because if you guys don't know, the Rime Coat, the chest piece specifically, the blue doesn't change color. So I really had to go in there and just kind of fine tooth the coloring so that way it looks good. And I think this one came out really cool. If I were to be quite honest with you guys though, I would definitely switch out the helmet for something else. Like maybe actually the witch armor that we got from Halloween, I think would be really good, because the Rime Coat gives off that like witch vibe, and the witch like hat would be really good with this. And it goes, the only thing some people might not like is that we would be using Cursed Arcana boots with the Cursed Arcana helmet. I'm not the biggest, like, I don't really care about that rule too much. Like I am of the mindset that 2 pieces and below is best. 3 and up is too much. So that's kind of like my rule. 2 is fine, 3 is too much. So that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. I had a lot of fun making these. If I'm being quite honest, I really, man, when it comes to judging armor sets quickly, I really need to stop doing that, because the Doki set really reminded me just shut up and get the armor, and then when you do the review, then that's when you can start bitching about it. Because initially I was like, I'm not a fan of it already, just because I don't see any piece that I really like. And then when I started to actually play with the armor, then I was like, wait a minute, Hunters, you guys got some cool pieces. Titans, you guys got some decent pieces as well. Warlocks, decent pieces as well. That being said, I definitely would still like hold to the fact that I said that if I didn't have this channel and I wasn't like into the fashion that much, or to the point where like I have a fashion channel, I wouldn't pick up the Titan or Warlock ones. I don't think $15 is enough for me to justify getting this armor. For like the Titans specifically, I think the arms are pretty cool. And that's the only piece that I kind of remember. The arms and yeah, I think the arms and the chest piece is pretty cool as well, I'm not gonna lie. But like 2 pieces for 15 bucks, that's definitely a no. Warlocks is the same thing. The arms are the only piece that I'm like genuinely like, oh, this one gets me hype. $15 for 1 piece, that's crazy. I think Bungie really needs to bring back like selling the armor sets individually when they come out. That being said, they don't do that for these type armors where it's like, hey, this armor is here now. So I do wish we had an option to pick and choose which pieces we wanted, because I don't want to buy the whole thing, because I'm sorry, whoever designed this, but like some pieces are cool, some pieces are trash. That's really all it is. So let me know what you guys think about the armor sets in the comments below. Remember, the Strand armor set video is going to be coming out in the next season. So I mean, by the time this video is out, tomorrow probably. So yeah, I'm going to be doing the the Strand video while doing all of the other stuff for the new season. I do apologize that I didn't finish a lot of the videos that I wanted to this expand or this season. Specifically, the shader videos I didn't finish. There's some armor videos that I didn't do as well, specifically the Strand videos. It's just that this season was rough, man. Like really rough. I just had no intention of playing this game this season, to the point where I started playing more like Tekken 8 and other stuff in the background. So apologies for that, but next season I should be pushing myself a little bit harder. That being said, I am starting a new project either by the end of February or in the middle of February. I don't know, it depends on when some things are done for me. But after that, I might slow down this channel, but I will also simplify this channel a lot more. So like I've said this before, but the review videos, the class specific videos are going to be done in a much more faster way, specifically like not a lot of editing, so that way I can still push content for you guys, but the other thing is going to take priority now. So apologies, but I mean, the channel hasn't been doing that well. Not my fault, more so just Destiny's been really bad right now. But because the channel's been doing so bad, I'm kind of starting to look elsewhere for content. So let me know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all. Be safe. I'll see you guys later.